I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I am pregnant. That is the reason why I am filming this video, so I can do my 6-week pregnancy update. I want to do pregnancy updates every other week, so I'm not going to do them weekly, just because, especially at the moment where I'm working and stuff, I don't get a lot of time to like film and edit and upload YouTube videos, which is why my YouTube uploads have been a bit sparse recently, and hopefully when I'm on maternity leave and stuff I'll have more time. Yes, I am pregnant. I am 6 weeks and 1 day pregnant, so today is Monday the 26th of November. I plan to do these every other week up until I give birth. That is what I plan on doing. Hopefully it works out that way. If not, I might have to change to monthly updates. The problem with that is I just feel like monthly updates, there'll be too much to update on, if that makes sense, whereas if I do them every other week, it should be enough to sort of like update you on. I'll start off by talking about baby's stats. So I'll talk about how baby's growth is and things like that, and then I'll go on to like my symptoms and how I'm feeling this week, and I'll also talk about like what symptoms I had before I found out I was pregnant, and I've got like my pregnancy test to show you. Let's get started. I'll start off with baby, what baby's stats are. So I use a couple of different pregnancy apps on my phone, but the one that I'll talk to you about is the one that I'll sort of refer to as Pregnancy Plus, because that's the one that I used with Joshua, but I have got the Ovia pregnancy app and the Baby Centre pregnancy app, but my favourite one is Pregnancy Plus, because that's what I use with Joshua. So if I'm looking down, it's because I've got my phone here. So we are 6 weeks and 1 day pregnant, day 43, and that is what, hold on, let's get a bit better picture. That is what baby currently looks like in my tummy, apparently. Doesn't look like much of a baby, it looks more like a tadpole. Week 6, so your baby. Length is 1.3 centimetres and weight is 0.02 ounces. Your blueberry sized baby is growing rapidly, particularly the brain is developing fast, making your baby's head much larger in proportion to the rest of the body. As the brain and head continues to develop, so do the eyes and ears. The inner ear takes shape and the eyelids begin to develop. Cartilage is beginning to form in the arm and leg buds, which will eventually develop into strong bones. That belly that you will eventually be tickling is beginning to take shape, and inside it's your baby's kidneys are starting to develop. Your baby's eyes are visible and changing quickly. We can't see it yet, but the colour of your baby's eyes is determined at the moment. The sperm fertilised your egg, thanks to those good old chromosomes. Internally, more and more of your baby's organs are forming with a tiny digestive system, beginning to link up with the mouth. So that's baby on week 6. It also has a section of your body, health and tips, and your partner's info, and then twins and multiples info. Where we are in the UK, we don't generally tend to have a scan until 12 weeks, so that's when we tend to find out if we're having more than one. You can pay for like a private early scan, but they cost around like 80 odd quid, if not more. I think the only time you tend to have like early scans in the UK is when you have like some sort of scare of like a threatened miscarriage, so whether you have like heavy bleeding and they need to check baby's okay, or you have like really bad pain on one side, so they need to check for ectopic pregnancy and things like that. You tend to have more scans if you've had like complicated pregnancies in the past and whatnot, so they tend to scan you more then. But generally, if you're healthy and you're having a healthy pregnancy and you've had no complications up to 12 weeks, you won't have a scan before 12 weeks, so we don't find out until then whether there's more than one baby in there. So there are more parts, but I won't go into them because otherwise we'll be here all day. But yes, that is baby. Baby's the size of a blueberry, so baby is quite small, but by the way, obviously we don't know the gender of baby. That's something we won't find out until 20 weeks, into our 20-week scan. Again, unless you pay for a private scan at 16 weeks. So, but just for reference, we do call her she, just because I don't like saying it, like, oh, it's the size of a blueberry. I'd rather say like he or she, so we do say she. Yeah, so she's the size of a blueberry at the moment. So she's growing, but she's still quite small. So yeah, that's all the stats of baby. Baby's growing fast, and all is going well with baby at the moment. So I'll talk about me and my symptoms and how I'm feeling. So I have been having a few symptoms. Should we start with what, like, the symptoms I had before I knew I was pregnant, and then symptoms that I've had leading up to now? But to be honest, my symptoms have all been the same. So the symptoms, so before I knew I was pregnant, I was having, like, I was really, really tired. So much so that I actually said to Sean, oh, I might make an appointment to the doctors next week if it turns out that I'm not pregnant, because I'm really tired, and it's actually concerning me how tired I'm feeling, because if I'm not pregnant then I shouldn't really be feeling as tired. And so it did obviously turn out that I am pregnant, so I didn't need to make an appointment for that. But yeah, one of the massive, like, symptoms that I had, which has probably been like my worst one, is the tiredness, fatigue. I feel tired most of the time, and it is a bit of a struggle, especially when I have to work until like 10 PM at night, and that can be quite hard because I'll get like halfway through my shift and I'm just like, I'm so tired, I just want to go home and get into bed. You know, I'm just trying to drink plenty of water, because I find that if I drink water, it makes me feel a bit better, it makes me feel a bit more awake. But because, you know, there's a lot of changes going on in my body, I've got like organs moving around to make room for this growing baby. I've got like hormones surging through my body and things like that, that I just generally feel really, really tired at the moment. So that's just like sort of the way it is. So that was like, I think, the first thing I had. I also had a bit of nausea, so I kept feeling like sick on and off, and I was just like, oh, okay, so I was like feeling tired and feeling a bit sick. I still get nausea on and off now, you know, it just depends. I don't know what causes it at the moment. That's been fun. I'm not actually been sick yet, but I've had a few times where I've had to go to the toilet because I wasn't sure if I was going to be sick or not, and then just sit there for like 10 minutes to see whether I was going to throw up. But so I had that, and then I had like cramps. So I had period type cramps, but they weren't as bad. So like and I had them like days before my period was due. So usually when my period is due, I have them like 1 to 2 days before, and then the first 2 days of my period, 1 to 2 days of my period. But I had them like, what, about a week before I was getting like period type pangs, and I was just like, oh, okay, like that's a bit odd, because I don't usually experience them this early. But and then they just continued and they didn't really go. And then they just sort of happened every day. I felt some like pulling sensation. That's the only thing I can think of, like the way to describe it. It's like a pulling sensation down, like in my stomach, like really low where like my uterus would be. I had like a pulling sensation there, which I don't usually get, so that was a bit odd. And then another symptom I had before I found out I was pregnant was my boobs. So I had like sore boobs, sort of like they were sort of touched. So if I pressed them, like they're still a bit like that now. So if I pressed them and touched them, they hurt. And I noticed like when I took my bra off a couple of times, like just when they were like free from the bra, that hurt them as well. So I was noticing that a little bit, and this might be a bit TMI, but you know, it's a pregnancy related video. Most things about pregnancy is TMI. I noticed as well that I seem to be producing colostrum, which is something that I know to only produce when I'm pregnant, as I had it in my last pregnancy, but I didn't get it till towards the end. And I noticed that I seem to be producing colostrum, which I thought was a bit weird, because I was like, oh, like, can you only produce it when you're pregnant? Plus, if I am pregnant, should I be producing it this early, because it'll only be a couple of weeks? And I found that to be a bit odd. So yeah, so they were the symptoms that I had leading up to finding out that I was pregnant. And then my symptoms haven't really changed much since finding out that I'm pregnant. I've just been still really tired, and I find that it kind of gets worse as every day goes on. I have had a couple of days where I've not felt so bad, but most of the time I feel tired and groggy and I just want to do nothing, and I haven't got energy to do anything. But you know, I'm a mum, I have got a 2-year-old, so I have got to like just get on with it. There's not a lot I can do with it. And I do kind of find that hard, because when I was pregnant with Joshua, I didn't have like another child to care for. So if I was tired, I could just sleep. Whereas this time around, I have another child to care for. I mean, at the moment he's at preschool, that's why he's not here. But if I'm not looking after Joshua, there's housework to do and things like that. And yeah, I just don't have time to like nap. So I've had nausea still on and off. and like I said, I've had a few instances now where I've had to run to the toilet because I thought I was going to be sick, but I haven't. My boobs are still sore, so they're still like tender to touch, and you know, they hurt, like they go all like tingly and sensitive, and sometimes I find at the end of the day, once I take my bra off, they ache and things like that. So it's all fun and games, but they haven't leaked, so they've stopped like, I don't think they're leaking anymore. They've stopped like producing not that they've stopped producing colostrum, but they've stopped leaking anymore, which I read that's apparently normal. But I've still had like cramps on and off, but they've not been as often. So whereas in the first like week to 2 weeks they were quite often, they're not as much now. I just tend to find that I'm a bit achy at the end of the day after, especially after work. I'll come home and I'll be a bit achy, like around my back and stuff, but they're not anything like, they're not as often, and they don't really hurt much. They're just a bit annoying. Another symptom that I've had is I've had a cold, so that's why that's why I've been a bit bunged up, but I kind of like, my cold kind of gone away, but I still feel a bit bunged up, and I know that can be like a symptom of pregnancy, which is always like fun. I didn't have that with Joshua, but I don't know, like, you know, my early pregnancy last time was in the summer, whereas we're now like pretty much in winter, and I'm going for my early pregnancy now. What else? Baby brain. Baby brain is real. Baby brain is hitting me hard. I had it with Joshua though, so, and I knew, I mean, I'm forgetful anyway, but I'm now just like, my brain is just like mush. I keep forgetting to do things, I keep forgetting to buy things, like I'll get home and I'll suddenly be like, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, or whatever, and it is quite bad. And when I'm having a conversation with someone, my mind just suddenly goes blank. I'll literally be like in the middle of a smack bang, blah, 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 so I can't even talk now. I'll be in the middle of the conversation and my mind just suddenly goes blank, and I can't think of the words that I'm trying to like say, and then I'm just literally like, well, this is awkward, because I'm now like just suddenly stopped talking, and people kind of looking at me like to say, well, are you going to finish your conversation? And I'm like, then it takes me a couple of minutes to think of what I need to say. So that's been really fun. And what is there any other symptoms? I don't think I've really had any other symptoms at the moment. Just tiredness, nausea, stuffy nose, backache, and baby brain. They've been the ones that I've had so far, I think. I think they're the only ones that I've had so far, so yeah, it's not been too bad. But then I had a really easy pregnancy last time, so I'm hoping that I have a really easy pregnancy this time as well. Yeah, so that's really it for my symptoms at the moment. I've not really had any other symptoms, I don't think. So I want to show you what my pregnancy tests look like. So I can't show you my Tesco ones, or, oh pardon me, my Clear Blue Digital, but I have got my cheapy ones here, and I've got 2 Asda ones that I took as well. So is that better? Oh yes, I think you can see it. So there's my 12 DPO one, which you can see, and then that was 13 DPO, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I then didn't do one for 20, I did one at 21, and then I did one today. So as you can see, they're now very dark, and they're pretty much as dark as a control line now. So the reason why I kept taking them was because I wanted to see the line progress. I probably won't take any more pregnancy tests now. Like, I took one today. I don't know how many days DPO I am anymore. I'm at least like 4 weeks past ovulation now. I don't see the point in taking any more tests because they haven't really, I don't think they're going to change much now. They're not going to get any darker than what they are, because I don't think it's possible for them to get darker than what they are. So there's no point taking any more tests. I'm not going to keep buying tests because I am pregnant, I'm having the symptoms, and I've got, God knows how many pregnancy tests to prove that I am pregnant, so there's no point. But I've got my 2 Asda ones. So I took this one, I believe I took on 14 DPO. It's either 14 or 15 DPO. And then I took this one a day later, so, and you can see how much darker this one is in comparison to this one. you can see how much the bottom one is darker in comparison to the top one. So, and that was with like a day apart. So yeah, so they were obviously worked and were correct. I'm just going to show you my belly. So whatever, I have got a little bit of what looks like a bump now, sort of, but I know it's just bloat at this stage because baby's like the size of a blueberry, and you know, the size of a blueberry is not going to make you pregnant. So it is just all bloat at the moment and stuff like that. So I will show you. So this is what it looks like with clothes on. And I'm just going to undo. Yeah, my clothes are feeling a bit tight already, and I'm 6 weeks. So, and that's what they look like. What it looks like with. So that's the side, and then the front. I mean, you can see like where my trousers have been digging in, but you know, the problem is I'm not like big enough to wear like maternity clothes at the moment. And then this is what my belly looks like from the other side. So as you can see, like it does look a bit, I'm just very bloated at the moment, and it's ridiculous because when it gets to like the evening and I've eaten everything I'm gonna eat that day, I just look very like pregnant. Not pregnant, well, I suppose I look like what I did when I was like about 4 months pregnant with Joshua. This is my little baby bump at 6 weeks. I mean, my belly obviously doesn't really feel rock solid, but low down it feels a bit like what it did when I was pregnant last time. It's starting to feel a bit hard, but all this up here is just jiggly. So that's what my belly looks like at 6 weeks. Yeah, so this is it for my 6 week pregnancy update. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to stick around and see how my pregnancy progresses. And then I am also planning on filming the birth. So subscribe if you want to see my birth vlog and things like that, and any other videos pregnancy related. I don't just do pregnancy related videos, I do like vlogs, and I will upload other videos, but at the moment this is what is happening in my life. So this is what my life is going to be about. At the moment is pregnancy. So hit subscribe if you want to stick around and see any future pregnancy updates and anything else pregnancy related on my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. I want to know if you're pregnant with me, how far you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.